we're back. Welcome, listeners, viewers, spectators. My name is Steven. This is Pedro. We're two mics and some theories, and we are back again with a whole new episode. And let's just start it off.
Go. You don't like this fake positive shit. Don't act like you're not salty. I want that salt.
You want that salt?
All right, why are you salty?
Huh?
What? Huh? I said, how are you?
Oh, I was gonna skip all that.
Oh, nah.
Cause it's funny because I was gonna tell you, I was gonna say the same thing. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna ask you how you are because I know you're salty.
I'm salty. I was.
Nah. Yeah.
I got resting salt face.
Resting salt face. You have passive aggressive tone voice.
Not today. I don't think so. I was more worried.
What do
for
you
the
mean
past
worried?
2 weeks. But the episodes.
Oh. No, I wasn't as worried. It was just. No, yeah, I wasn't worried.
Wait, I didn't say you were worried. I said I was worried.
Nah, we were fine. I think we were fine.
Nah. Nah.
But I wanted to talk to you about something today.
I don't like that happy face you're making. It makes it look really awkward. You're making me uncomfortable.
Because I'm smiling?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you weren't smiling for the past hour. And you're smiling now and it's weird.
What the hell? Nah, I'm let me take this off. It makes it easier.
Imagine if all of a sudden I was like, hey, Steven, how are you today?
What the hell? Nah,
Oh. That's a bit exaggerated,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean.
Not really. Do you-
All right, so what are we going to do today?
Yeah. Are you
that hurts.
just used to me and my resting mad face?
Am I? Yeah, kind of.
I'm trying to change that. Trying to be your friendly neighborhood Steven.
Wait, what were you going to say? You were going to say, so today I wanted to talk to you about...
Oh yeah, I wanted to give you a scenario and see how you would play it out.
All right, I like where this is heading. Let me put my cool shades on.
Oh.
Let me see. All right, what's the scenario?
So let's say you let me lay down the foundation then.
Okay, backstory.
You've worked your whole life to get to where you're at now.
Okay.
And you're very promising in what you do. You're actually very good at what you do. And I guess you work for a company that is umbrellaed under a bigger conglomerate company, a monopoly, if you will, in your that basically controls your trade. But you're a very valuable asset, but there's no way that you can start and go off on your own. You need this
Okay.
umbrella company. And aside from that, you see something that is just unjust and things are going very wrong, not within your company, but just in general. And because you have a platform, you are this asset to this company, you decide to take a stand.
Wait, I have to stop you there. What do you mean I have a platform? Because I was just a worker.
You are a worker, but you are also, you
Wh-
stand out. You have media attention. You are, you're a big name. You are a face of the company. But you are still just a employee at that point.
Okay. I just want to like this because when I hear platform, people, it's referred to when I hear it now as in they have some kind of social media or following or some kind of influence. But in this case, it sounds like it's just I'm a valued employee and I'm well known in this case. That's what you
Yeah,
mean. Okay.
but it could also mean you do have this social media following, um, and I guess it works in this scenario. You have a social media following,
Okay. Oh,
you-
let's go with
um,
that.
and a lot of people follow your work and what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So back to where we're at, you see something that's unjust. You don't like how things are being played out. Of course, not related to what you not anything directly related to your work or the company you work for. You guys are completely out of it. You just see that it's unjust, and you decide to take a stand, speak out against it, um, and your company doesn't like it. They blackball you out of the trade that you're in the work that you're in.
Okay.
Now, obviously, you feel that in itself is unjust. You file grievance suit, and this whole big publicized lawsuit is spanning over the course of 4 to 5 years. You get a very nice settlement because the courts rule in your favor, and then to, I guess, break bread with you, this big monopoly of a company decides, hey, no hard feelings, let us put on a interview for you, if you will, so that you can try and get another job within our company.
Okay.
Now, being how this company did you dirty in the past, how would you take, or how would you react to this like this olive leaf of gesture?
I can't because there's so many things going on that I can't even. What did they do to me? What was the settlement? What? How did they reach out? What are they trying to do now? I have no idea how I would react because I don't know what went on exactly. It sounds like they. It sounds like they did something that I didn't like, and I took some kind of stand, and then I fought it, and then I won something, and now I'm trying to go back to them. It.
Well, it's not that I
Mm,
mean, obviously you want to go back to them because this is a monopoly. This company is the only company in the world that can offer you what you want to do and what you've basically trained your whole life to do.
can I just start my own company?
In this case, no. It's almost near impossible to start your own.
Can I start my own company that's related to that company? That's not doing. If it was a, if I was working for, wanted to working for Ford designing cars, and they blackballed me from working for any other car company, I could still work around cars in some manufacturing or with race cars or something. I could still work in and around that area. Not necessarily making cars, but maybe designing them now. Or designing like the engine parts if that's what I'm interested. Working around it.
That's a good point. But that would be a very a disservice to your talents.
Well, if they did something that I stood for, why would I want to go back to them?
So it wasn't the company that did anything wrong, um, in the first place that made you want to take a stand.
So then, but I thought it was a company because you said it was a company that did something I didn't like.
No. So obviously the this monopoly of a company oversees all the operations
Mm-hmm.
from the company you work for, the sister company that is not directly related to you, but also under this umbrella of a company. So this umbrella did nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the inside looking out,
Mm-hmm.
and you saw some unjust being done elsewhere where nobody is fighting for them, not even within that group or outside of the group. Everyone else is just kind of watching, letting them do their thing.
Okay.
So now you are like, yo, that's not right. Let me use my platform to shed some light on the situation. And your the umbrella that you work for, this big conglomerate company, doesn't like that you spoke out, and they do everything in their power to silence you, kick you out, and make it so that your company and no other company that's under this umbrella hires you.
Okay.
So that's when the whole legal proceedings happens, and this is big fight back and forth for 4 or 5 years. The umbrella loses. You get this hefty settlement that's for an undisclosed amount, but everyone knows it's a big settlement. They just in the settlement agreement you can't disclose it, and the media can't know because obviously they want it, under wraps.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a year. Let's say a year has passed.
Okay. It's very specific. All right.
A year has passed. Now, let's say I'm your company that had to pay you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to extend an olive branch saying, hey, look, we're sorry.
All right. Fuck the story. The NFL and Colin Kaepernick. All right. What about it?
Damn, I was trying to not be. What gave it away?
The first 10 seconds.
Nah, you're lying.
Yes, I follow sports. I don't like watching sports, but I follow it just in case I ever need to use it for an interview. I have something to talk about.
All right, so then
Yeah.
How would you have reacted to the NFL putting up the this interview for Colin?
I get it. From what I know, the NFL had a specific place where 20 representatives were gonna go and watch him play in an NFL sanctioned place with an NFL sanctioned people and receivers and everything. And then he said, "Nah, fuck that. I'm going to this high school with my peoples." And I think only 6 of them showed up. Okay, so 6 out of the 20 showed up. 6 of them still showed up. And then he did this, not a publicity. He talked to the media, said, "NFL, it's your move now." All right. Pretty dramatic, poetic. And what was the question? The question was, how do I feel about it?
How would you have reacted? I wanted to see if the way you would have reacted would have been different from the way Colin reacted or handled the situation.
I don't know, because it depends why I don't know why he did that. Because is he trying to get hired back, or is he not? Only he knows that. Because you can say this is a move. If he was trying to get hired back, then you can say, "Ah, fuck, he shouldn't have done that." But if he wasn't trying to get hired back, and this was just to maybe shed more light on the NFL or to get more attention, and he wasn't trying to get hired back, and that's why he did it, then he did it. Then he said he had a goal, and he achieved that goal. So one thing is why he was doing it. Another thing is the reason for him doing it. Why, like, what happened what were the rules in that settlement? Because from what he said, that he felt like he got blackballed. But my question is why and how? And I don't know that he knows that. What the NFL actually did. So the best move is the move he did, I guess. I don't know what he's trying to gain, if he's trying to get hired, if he's not trying to get hired, if he's trying to... It kind of seems like what I do know is that the attention did shift from... Because it started with... when he took a knee, he was trying to shed light about police officers specifically shooting African Americans. And now, currently, it seems like we're not really looking at that anymore. The attention has shifted from that probably a while ago. Now it's more from a public perception, it seems like he's doing these, I don't want to say stunts, but these big moves, and no one really knows why.
Well, a lot of speculation was he was trying to stay relevant.
Okay.
This publicity stunt was for him to stay relevant, which I don't kind of see as an actual thing, because I don't know. For me, if you're trying to stay relevant, it's because you're trying to stay in the loop so that you can create opportunities to make money. That's what I would think you would want to stay relevant for.
Yeah, yeah.
But he has money. If you remember, he had that Nike deal that made everyone hella mad. Um, so yeah, he has money. I don't think this is it was a publicity stunt for that. I do think he's been trying to play, because or else why else would he, be fighting it this long? He could have settled a long time ago.
I don't think he's trying to play. It doesn't. His actions tell me he doesn't want to play.
That was my initial thought too. The way he was speaking to the media, it just sounded really hood. It wasn't. It was kind of like how if you would show up to the.
Wait, well, what does that have to do with anything? It's
because if you show up to an interview and you start talking like fuckboy Pete, how he was just like, nah, fuck that, or I can't imitate fuckboy Pete, but
wait, hood. What do you mean by that? Like, well, yeah, kind of.
Just not professional. He was talking to the media, instead of saying, the regular professional jargon that every player has to partake in.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of calling people out and just kind of, I don't know, the vibe he had up there just seemed hood, unprofessional, not really ready to play ball.
Wouldn't that indicate that he doesn't want to get hired?
Yeah.
Well, then why would you think that he does want to get hired?
Just because it's the way he talked for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, but it could have changed up
It could
until
have.
now.
Yeah, you're right. We don't know. Only he knows. Only maybe his team knows. There's probably something else he's trying to get accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
But
I just wanted to see, not really talk about him and his actions. I wanted to see how other people would have reacted to or handled that situation.
I don't think we can say that because we don't know what.
That's why I try to lay out like the whole everything that happened. Because how you were saying, like, oh, he can start his own job, but you really can't. The NFL is a real monopoly in this. You can't go and start your own league. There's been multiple attempts, and it didn't work out.
But he can work around that area as a. I don't know if there's an actual term for it, but as someone that helps the upcoming college kids that pay him a fee, and then he helps them with getting deals, with sponsorships, with the celebrity
like an agent.
life. Oh yeah, see, he that's what I mean around it. He could be an agent. He could be, he could be a high school coach if he really wanted to. Private institution, big time, get a bunch of cash. He could still work in and around football, but as far as in the actual NFL, if they actually did blackball him, he'll probably never work there. So that's what I meant by in and around, if he wanted to.
Makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I get it though. I get why he wouldn't trust the NFL on them handling everything.
Mm-hmm.
They did him dirty once before. If he was, I guess, from a strategic point, I can see why he would want to control the narrative and make sure that it was his filming equipment, his crew filming. Because I guess in the agreement was that they were going to send the film to all the other teams. There was talk that he thought that they were going to cut the tape to only show his bad throws or his, clips that showed him not really performing well.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted his receivers, because you can say that the receivers they were going to provide were going to be a lower tier. Maybe not work as hard to go up for the ball at its highest point, do everything they could to make the catch. So yeah, I don't know.
Or the NFL could have actually had if they really wanted him back, have just actual people that were going to make him look his best.
That's what a lot of people said too, because apparently Jay-Z was heavily involved in setting this up. Because I don't know if you know, Jay-Z started his own agency company where they represent athletes.
Didn't he make a deal with the NFL? Isn't he part of it now?
I don't know if he's part of the NFL, but I know he's working very close with them.
Mm-hmm.
But from my point of view, I don't know. I feel like if I was Colin, I went to war with the NFL for 4 or 5 years. We duked it out, a lot of back and forth, and then finally, boom, settlement agreement. Something that, maybe it wasn't the full result that I wanted, but for me to have agreed to it, it was something that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a fight with Connor and Nate. All this shit talking beforehand, the pushing and shoving. Finally, they throw down, and at the end, they're all hugging, and they're like, "All right, cool." They're not friends. Obviously, if they see each other in the street, they're gonna go at it again and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But right there after they shook hands, they're hugging, like, "Oh man, that shit was great." Blah blah blah. I wouldn't go as far as saying respect for each other, but it's you laid it all out there. You left it all in the ring. So I feel like if the NFL would have came and said, "Hey, let us do you a solid. Let's put it behind us." I think I would have, cooperated, I guess.
But that's assuming that they both left it out on the ring. What if one person feels like the other person got cheated? Like in that fighting scenario, there was an eye poke or a crotch hit, and that led to the win or the draw or whatever. But now one person feels cheated, and then it's like one person feels like, all right, now we're good, and the other person's like, nah, we're not. Not saying that happened or didn't happen, but
yeah, there's no way for us to know. We're just kind of talking about it. Yeah, I don't know, man. Me personally, I do hope I see him in the NFL again one day.
Mm-hmm.
Will it happen after this? I have to say no.
How old is he now?
Early 30s, if that, or maybe not even 30.
What's the quarterback? What is this? Is it called shelf life? What's the average that quarterbacks stay in the NFL?
Oh, they can go forever.
Oh, shit.
Right now, your top tier quarterbacks like Brady is 42, 43.
Yeah, but isn't he like the best?
Yeah,
The best?
but even those under him are like hitting 38, 39. Half the quarterbacks are over 35.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So-
it's actually rare because this year is where a little under half were under 24.
Huh. Is that just all the new people that are coming in?
Mm-hmm. But it's rare because usually they'll bring in a quarterback and then he'll be a backup and serve as the starter will serve as a mentor to whoever's gonna replace him in a couple years. So they're already starting that like training phase to get him used to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But right now it's kind of unprecedented that almost half of the starting quarterbacks are either rookies or a couple years in, where they just kind of threw them into the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are doing pretty good.
All right. So you could still, if you wanted to, go back.
There's definitely some teams that need help and could benefit from a explosive player like himself. But I don't know. I don't think a lot of teams want to deal with a possible headache that he might bring.
But then he would also bring a bunch of attention to that team.
He would. But good attention and bad attention.
Yeah.
There's like a really hot girl, but with a lot of emotional baggage. She's super hot, and you look super cool with a dime piece around you, strapped to your arm.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to get a lot of headaches and a lot of, unnecessary fights, maybe.
Is there a time limit as to when they respond to that. What is it? To when they saw him not play or perform, like 2 weeks, or they have a month, or
No.
they can just pick him up whenever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I guess right now, when the NFL set it up, it's kind of like crunch time. We're in the point of the season where every team is trying to make their last and final playoff push, to get into stride for the playoffs, and it's around these weeks that'll make or break your season, basically, because some teams are just right there and they got to stay with all the other teams, or this is where you start to fall behind, and you keep playing out, but then you're kind of really, evaluating your players, starting to prepare for next year because you're too far behind to make the playoffs. So yeah, right now it's like really crunch time.
Okay.
So a lot of teams could use him.
Yeah.
I say a lot, but 4 or 5 teams that really need the help in quarterback.
So it's, yeah, you said it's crunch time. So they're trying to, what could I say? They're trying to build their final team that they're going to go forth with.
Yeah, you could say that, because obviously throughout the season there's injuries, there's some players that you thought were gonna perform well just aren't cutting it. So bringing in a new face, someone that has experience, someone that went to Super Bowl before, played outstandingly when he was in the league, that can really bring a boost to your team.
All right. So they're trying to build something, and they want to make sure that it doesn't break going into this season to the next season. Because if it breaks, because the NFL is a show, right? More or less.
Yeah.
It's a show, and they're up there giving a presentation to the whole world, and you don't want to break when you're presenting in front of the whole world. Just like how the Cybertruck's windows were broken when Elon Musk was giving a performance, and that ball hit that window and it shattered, not once, but twice. So did you see the Cybertruck, I should say?
Yeah, I saw highlights. I didn't watch the actual press conference that they put on.
What'd you think about? Or actually, what do you know about it? What did you hear? What did you see? What's the rundown?
Well, I saw the funky looking truck that they brought out. I definitely saw that one, but I think that was a concept still, not the one that they're actually going to release.
No, that's the released one.
Really?
Yeah.
I could have sworn when it came up the ramp, there was a car behind it. Or was it a different Tesla model that they were also showcasing?
I'm not sure what video.
There was a red one behind the gray one.
I'm not sure I saw that video. I just saw the actual the truck. It's more or less that's how it's gonna be in the final design. They might change a couple things like the windows, but other than that, that's it. That's 90% done, maybe 95.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I like it. I fuck with it.
I saw a picture online where Halo 1 or any of the Halos.
That's what I thought about.
The Warthog,
yeah.
where someone took a picture of the Cybertruck and put a turret in the back.
That's tight. And actually, it didn't disappoint. It didn't disappoint me. Where did I see it? I think it was on one of Rogan's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about the truck, and I guess Rogan texted Elon, saying like, "Yo, I saw the picture of the truck," and he responded something like, "Oh yeah, I saw that one too, but that's not it. It's a fan make of it, like a fan creation of what they suspect it'll look like. Ours is gonna be a lot more like Tronish, because that's what his words were. So I kind of expected it to look like that. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, I immediately referred back to that snippet of the Rogan podcast. But I like it. If I had the money to buy it, I probably would roll around in it.
I don't know if I'd buy it. I don't really care how it looks. I just want to know how much space is in the back compared to the other trucks. If it has more space, then That's all I need, really. Because that's why I would get a truck for the space in the back.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my number one reason for getting it. Everything else would be extra. Did you see the ATV that they made that fits in the back of the truck?
Yeah.
See, like that's extra. It's nice to have, and
Yeah.
you can connect the ATV to the truck so you can charge it. It's like that's a nice add-on. If I was an ATV enthusiast, then that would be cool. But the number one thing for me would be how much things can I put in the back, and what, and how can the truck help me put more things, and like anything else is extra.
Yeah. I wonder though how. Wow, what's the word I'm looking for? How.
Ephemeral.
No.
Psilocybin.
Damn. Convenient is it gonna be? Because obviously, if you think about a truck, you think about obviously hauling things, maybe using it for work. You don't think of it as a regular model car where you just drive to an office. But if I think of truck, I think camping. I think of using it for utility purposes, right? So is Tesla just gonna start building chargers everywhere? Like maybe us living in LA, we're gonna go camping one weekend up to Yosemite.
Mm-hmm.
Will the truck have enough juice to get us up there? Do all the driving that we normally do, get us back? Are you gonna start putting chargers up all over the place?
I think that's the plan. I think if we got one right now, and we were gonna go camping next weekend, how would we do it? I guess we would see how much stuff we can fit on there. See how many people would go in the back, and I think the most important thing would be check where they have charging stations.
So I believe that was an issue for people that had Teslas going to Vegas.
From here to Vegas.
That was an issue, and I think they eventually ended up building some type of charging station halfway there. So I'm sure we can find charging stations from here, to Yosemite, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But once we're up there, along the curves and everything, I mean, either we really have to map out our itinerary, or the battery just is gonna last long enough for the whole trip.
Yeah,
There's some innovation there. And then we kind of just glanced over it. I don't actually know what happened with the windows.
Oh, hold on, I'll tell you right now. Yeah, I don't think the infrastructure, meaning that the car's there, but the charging ports aren't there, and I think that's the biggest issue they've been missing for a while, because they have it in all the popular spots, LA and some popular tourist spots, and even universities now they have charging ports.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen at least anywhere from 2 to 8 different charging ports. So I think it's almost like the car's ahead of its time, because unless you have one, you can't really go anywhere you want like you could with a gas-powered car. The gas-powered car, you're still kind of limited. You can't go off-roads too much, but you can basically go everywhere because gas stations are pretty much everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And with the window braking, he was giving a presentation on the strength of the car and how more durable it is than the more recent trucks. So first, they took a sledgehammer and they had a door set up where someone was going to get the sledgehammer and just banged on that door. And you know what I noticed? When he banged on that truck door, he hit it really hard. But when he went to the Tesla, it looks like he let off a little. He still hit it with it, and it was still a hard hit. But it's like it's like when you got your side chick, right? And then you're not trying to give her like 100%. Gotta have them coming back. So you start off with 60. Next time you give her 70, it's like, oh shit, he's giving me more. Next time you go like 80%, like you're like slowly improving. It's to bring him back, right? That's what it was almost like that car, like the Tesla car was a side chick, and didn't give him like the full 100. But with that door got banged. Saw that play on words there.
Oh man.
But it was still pretty strong. He was saying that the steel was the same steel or the same material that was used for the Tesla rockets.
Yeah.
Which, when I heard it, I was like, same thickness, like the same thing, or it's just the same like material? Because I can say I'm using, I have like steel on my car and steel on my computer, which I could, but one's significantly more thicker than the other.
Right.
So that's what I started to think about, like, well, what's the thickness difference? And then after they tested the door, they were testing the glass. So first they got a regular glass from a regular car, and then they got a steel ball about the size of the size of a little bit bigger than a tennis ball. Then they climbed up, and then they just kind of dropped it on the glass. Regular glass shattered. I shouldn't say shattered. It broke. You could tell that it broke. Then they got the Tesla glass that was on the car, and they went even higher. They got up a ladder, went higher, and dropped it, and it didn't break. Then I think Elon got a little confident. Then one of his chief engineers, he had the ball, and Elon said, "Go ahead, throw it at the car." And then the engineer said, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, go for it." And he threw it. Gave him like 50%, kind of like chucked it pretty hard. And then the window to the car, it cracked. It cracked in. It didn't go through, but it definitely like cracked, and then it fell down. And then he looked like, "Oh, you know what? You threw it too hard. Try it on the other window." Gave him like 40%, maybe 30. Same thing. And then he looked at the designer. They looked at each other. He looked at the crowd and said, room for improvement. Didn't go through at least. And then he continued on.
Yeah.
And that was it. But it was just really funny. People were making memes, and that was the big subject of discussion, that, oh, Elon's presentation cracks like the window.
Damn.
Like, the whole focus was on the window when it should have been about the truck. The truck seemed ambitious in style. Like, I don't know how... So many people are talking about the glass that I don't know how people feel about the truck yet.
Damn. Yeah, very futuristic. What was I going to tell you? I lost my train of thought. It was about the car, though. Oh, yeah. What kind of havoc do you think Elon raised after the presentation was over?
I don't know, because...
Or maybe do you think it was something planned?
I don't know if it was planned. I feel like if it was planned, they should have tested it on the car. I think if it was planned, then I think there was something else he was trying to achieve. Like distraction or attention, maybe. Because if he did that just to get attention, then it worked. Because people were talking about it, how it's a big failure, that all the Windows this, the Windows that.
But then for its actual release, when maybe the Windows are already ready to go, for its actual release, maybe people are gonna start this challenge, like, oh, break your Tesla Windows challenge, and then
that's a good idea.
It'll come already in where the glass won't break, and then there'll be all these articles. Oh, Tesla fixes its window problem. And then it could probably spike up its stock.
Yeah. I don't know if that was a plan, but that sounds like...
Yeah, that's way, way out there. But you never know.
If they came out with a cool, catchy headline, Shatter our matter? Are you ready? Step up to bat? Come and try to shat.
Damn. I mean, all right.
No, but I wonder what happened after the presentation. Like when they all got back together, like, oh shit, that went as planned, or maybe we shouldn't have done that. Who knows? But it seemed like it was a spontaneous moment where he said, come and try this, and it just Fortunately, it broke the window. At least it didn't go through, but still entertaining.
Well, who knows? Elon, send us one of those Teslas. We'll test drive it for you. Do you know if they took out or if they had video of like crash test for it?
I'm not. I don't know if they did or did not. I'm not sure. I do know people did get to test drive it. People there, they did get to test drive it after.
Damn.
Full autopilot. It had that big screen or iPad. I'm not even sure if it's on the iPad that the regular Teslas have. It had one of those.
Have you ever been in one?
No.
Damn.
Yeah, the truck reminded me of a zombie apocalypse truck. Like those things at the what were they called? Preppers? That something a prepper would buy.
Ah. Yeah.
That and I did stylistically I didn't like the boxy feel. I wish it was more rounded. But I think I'm assuming they made it boxy for
aerodynamic purposes.
No, because they're not concerned with speed. It's a truck.
Weren't they bragging about how it's super fast too?
Oh, yeah. But I don't think that's why they made it. I think the reason they made it boxy, and I'm just guessing here, was that somehow that the load would be dispersed throughout the car, kind of like when you see a bridge, and bridges they have a certain, they're curved a certain way, they're made a certain way to support the load. I guess a better example would be an arch, like a I think it's a Roman, it's a Greek arch, like how an arch, it's just bricks stacked on top of each other, and the weight's distributed throughout, but they could support a whole bunch of weight. And I think that's why they made it boxy, but I'm not sure.
Well, we're just gonna have to go find a friend and test one out.
Build an arch?
Build an ark.
Noah's Ark?
Yeah. Anyways, anything else?
Nope.
Yeah, me neither.
Cool. Then, Thanksgiving is just passed.
It has.
Shit, I forgot about that. We'll talk about it next time. Our Thanksgiving and Black Friday, everything just passed.
That's right. It did. It did.
That's what I was gonna say. That's all right. We'll talk about it next time.
Next time.
But I don't have any final thoughts. You have anything?
We do not. So then, sign us off.
Then, let's see. Audio podcast will go up. You guys know the deal. Fridays, we're here. I'm Pedro. That's Steven. Thanks for being here. Goodbye.
Peace.